I am Luke Clawson, historian with Independence Seaport Museum here in Philadelphia, aboard Cruiser OLYMPIA. One of the questions we're often asked is, where did the men who lived and worked aboard the ship eat? For a majority of the men, the enlisted men, so this is the regular sailors and petty officers, they ate at mess tables like the one I'm sitting at. At first they were suspended by lines from billet hooks in the overhead, which is also where you hung your hammock. Later on, they were fitted with metal fold-out legs so they would sit directly on the deck. Each table had two benches that were the width of the table that also sat directly on the deck. When they weren't in use, they went into racks in the overhead to get them out of the way because all of this was living and working space. You would find these mess tables spread throughout the gun deck, which is where we currently are, and the deck directly below us, which is the berth deck. The enlisted sailors' mess gear, things like their plates, forks, spoons, knives, stuff like that, were stowed in boxes called mess chests, like this one, which are spread around the gun deck and the berth deck. Cooks prepared the sailors' meals here in the galley, which included coal-fired stoves, large cook pots fed off the ship's steam system, coffee urns, and everything you needed to prepare and serve meals for over 400 men. Cruiser OLYMPIA's warrant officers, who were junior officers with technical specialties like gunnery and engineering, had their very own dining room called a wardroom. This is where they took their meals and also provided a place for them to kick back and relax. All of Olympia's officers, except for the warrant officers, the captain, and the admiral, ate their meals here in the wardroom. This is a compartment that spans the width of the ship and is located just forward of the officers' staterooms. It's set up really nicely with all this lovely woodwork, bookshelves, and even couches. That way the officers could rest and relax here when they were off duty. Olympia's officers had their own pantry where dishes and all the equipment needed to serve their meals were stowed. This space was typically staffed by African American ship stewards. Olympia's captain and admiral had their own staterooms where they took their meals. They could eat here alone, invite other officers from the ship, or bring in people from the outside, like officers from other ships, foreign dignitaries, or family members whenever they were in port. Olympia's captain and admiral had their own separate pantries where their food was prepared. These housed everything needed to prepare their meals, including a special ice box that held food just for these officers.